Hi, my name's Gary. No, that's not true. I'm just trying to hide my identity because I'm ashamed of my terrible impulse control. For example, I spent most of my budget on this fancy PS5 and doing terrible things to it with a bunch of crap off of AliExpress. But now, I need like a living room setup to go around it. And considering that it's been Black Friday for the last 17 years, instead of buying a bunch of used stuff like I probably should, I decided to buy the cheapest thing in every category from Amazon. Sure, this'll go well. But first, today's video is sponsored by Be Quiet's new Dark Rock Pro 5, or if you're feeling real Elite, the Dark Rock Elite. Both coolers are rated for over 250 watts of TDP, come with easy installation, and you can even slip the middle fan in, which I really like. Both coolers also come with excellent RAM clearance for such ginormous beings, and with the Elite, you get just a splash of tasteful RGB. Check out the Be Quiet Dark Rock Pro 5 and Elite using the link in the video description. So apparently this is everything I bought, which I find difficult to believe considering that there's supposed to be multiple pieces of furniture in this box, not including the TV. So I'm not sure how they fit it all in here, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Now I'm gonna start with this box because it's the only one I can imagine them possibly stuffing a TV bench in. Wait a minute, this is like the couch thing. Where's the TV bench? Does that mean it's in here? It very much wasn't. Now I'm assuming the TV bench definitely isn't in here, so I probably forgot to bring it. Give me a second. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. There was a box missing. Wow, it's a good thing we have that super flimsy foam in here so that it didn't damage our beautiful countertop. Oh, they forgot to also put thin vinyl on the bottom of the panels, but I guess you only look at the top, right? Ugh, it's so dirty. It's a good thing no one spent a whole bunch of time vacuuming in preparation for this video. Like, what is this material even? It just keeps rematerializing. I can't get rid of it. Ooh, I don't think having weight-bearing metal plastic in a TV bench is a great idea. Wow, that is some quality right there. And then I think the middle one goes on like that. Sturdy. And all of this primo quality can be had for as little as 70 Canadian dollars on Black Friday, which, for what this is, I feel like is still too much. Especially considering that there are several used options in my area that include a TV for almost half as much. Which, on the note of TV, now the TV I got is this 32-inch Hisense thing, which despite being a smart TV, so it can do our taxes for us or whatever, has a couple of pretty big problems with it for our PS5 gaming setup. The first is that it's got a max resolution of 720p. I didn't know they even still made 720p TVs, and it makes it a better pairing for like a PS3 than a PS5. And despite bragging on the box about having 120 motion rate, this is still a 60Hz TV. It can't actually show 120 frames a second. It can just kind of guess the frames in between and then just completely ruin the motion rendering. But let's open it up and have a look. Maybe it's way better than its specs suggest. So in here we get a remote and two little footies. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Oh, no way, it's still got analog video in, which honestly kind of makes this a viable option if you have like a PS2 lying around that you want to use, because you'd be able to plug it straight into your TV. Other than that, we've just got some TV holes. Cool. And this beauty that's more reflective than a teenager's acne-riddled forehead cost about 160 Canadian dollars, which is really not very much for a TV. For audio duties, I got this Tapio 1 2-channel soundbar that cost a whopping 55 Canadian dollars. Accessory-wise, we get a little wall wart, this Savage dual RCA to 3.5mm cable, the thinnest optical cable I have ever seen. We also get a remote for it, so our remote clutter is building up nicely. And finally, we get a couple of screws with fisher plugs so we can mount it to a wall if we need to. Oh, it's actually sturdier feeling than I was expecting. Ooh, you can see the drivers through the grill. So I think how this works is that we have a single driver for each channel, and then that is a passive radiator. On the back, we've got USB, optical, and aux, which is pretty complete. You can plug a bunch of stuff into this. It's even got physical buttons on the side for when you lose the remote. And then it's got little rubber footies as well, so that it doesn't move around on the table, but that doesn't take into account that the table is the one doing the moving around. Having not heard it yet, surprisingly, this seems the most promising thing so far, which became doubly true when I saw the next thing. Next, we need some comfy seating for our gaming setup, so I bought the cheapest thing resembling a lounge chair, I guess. Ah! Whoa, it's so staticky. I think you kinda... Oh! You can sit on that, I guess. I don't think there's anything else really to say about it. This magnificent piece of seating equipment cost 62 Canadian dollars, which again somehow feels like way too much money for it. And finally, I got a bunch of miscellaneous gaming related accessories, like this neon sunset. I think these are real hot right now, and it's got a very promising looking wall mount. I got some gaming thumbsticks so that our thumbs can game a bit better, I guess. And then what is a gaming setup without RGB? So I got this star projector to give us some nice gaming ambiance. Wow. It's even got a speaker in it, which is terrifying. I hope that it doesn't make a bunch of noise to distract us from our gaming. But with that, I can't contain my urge to game anymore. So let's set it all up so we can get going. Wow, that's a terrible implementation. That clearly should have been a straight cable. I think that's as straight as we can get the sunset. They didn't take into account the weight of the cable on the side. They just have to ruin the product somehow, don't they? Oh, and another problem is that it comes with USB power, but it didn't come with a wall wart. Neither did the Starry Night thing, so I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit with the RGB and use my own. The thing is so dumb, oh my word. Cable management situation is definitely not great, so I'm just gonna kind of do that. First things first, I do want to try out this seat, because I think this is the best part of our setup. It does actually hold you up, which is more than I was expecting, but I'm very much sitting on the floor. Next, before we turn the TV on, I want to see what the lights do. So I think I'm going to turn off my lights so that we give it the maximum ability to, to impress us. Oh, why did that turn this one on? Oh, okay, there we go. That one actually looks quite nice. I mean, if it was straight, it would look a lot better. But yeah, it's got a nice soft glow to it. And then this does that. Let's sit back and marvel at it. I was clearly impressed. Maybe I need to turn the other light off. But even with no other lights on in the room, I felt like I could get more out of the Starry Night. So I moved its position to behind me, which made a pretty big difference. Okay, so with it on the table behind, it does look a lot better. You can see that we've got some galaxy action happening. It's quite a nice ambiance for some gaming. I'm real excited to try out our new gaming setup. I don't know if any of this is gonna look okay. I've had to make it really dark in here because the TV is wildly reflective. I have to be very careful with where I put lights. It's a reasonable remote. You've got a whole bunch of shortcuts to various smart TV things you might want to do. It's not turning on. I think the sound bar is... Yeah, the soundbar is very much in the way, so I can't use this much. And after spending ages in this very comfortable position setting up the TV, we're gonna game with it in standard settings first. Wow, my arm's getting tired. I was ready for some gaming. Whoa, the TV's black levels are really good. I think this is a VA panel, which if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that means I'm probably gonna have a real bad time gaming on it. Oh yeah, no, oh no. Ooh, this is like headache-inducing stuff happening here. The soundbar, I don't think makes any bass at all. Like nothing under 200 hertz is being produced by it. But like it's relatively clean sound. Like I think compared to the TV. So that's cool. You know, it's better than the TV for 55 Canadian dollars. Although in all fairness, it's kind of like being more pleasant than having the bubonic plague. That's not really a high bar to clear. The TV, on the other hand, has quite vibrant colors and deep black levels, which I think would make it pretty good for TV watching if you're far enough away from it. Measurement-wise, the TV does better than I was expecting, I guess. Although there are a couple of issues with it, like the color accuracy gets a bit wonky when it's not displaying shades of grey. And its max brightness is really not very good, partially because anywhere above 50% brightness, the TV just reduces the contrast for some reason. It doesn't get any brighter, the image just gets all flat and terrible looking. And that combined with its shockingly reflective finish means you can basically just use this TV in a cave on the dark side of the moon. But I'd argue that gaming is where it's the least comfortable. Ooh, that input lag and motion rendering. Ugh. Motion blur 0, no way. That is what it looks like with no motion blur on. Oh no, yeah. I then turned on instant game response mode, which made a big difference to the input lag. That has significantly improved the input lag, I can actually feel that. But in all of the modes, any movement just feels like the TV's throwing placenta in your eyes. I just realized there are little pads on the joysticks, and I feel like if anything, they are uncomfortable because they lift your finger higher off the controller than you're used to, and then it just feels like you're gaming on a mountain. Yo, modern gaming, man, all you do is wait for crap to update. A 12 gig update? And while waiting for the 4th update of the day, like a real professional, I decided to update you on the ergonomics of the chair. The chair is fine. It really feels like you're just sitting on the floor, but something is supporting your lower back. That's pretty much the only difference between it being there and not. So after my chair rambling, I decided to play some Disco Elysian while waiting for GT7 to finish downloading. And aside from apparently the game making me real frowny, the gaming experience was fine. Although I will say, when it comes to like mumbly speech, that soundbar really struggles with intelligibility. In fairness, I find that's a very difficult thing for audio gear to do well, especially at lower volumes, so I can't be too hard on it in that case. And again, with GT7, I just kept thinking, like, it's difficult for me to be very critical of like the TV and the soundbar, because if you're shopping in this price point, it's because you just need a TV or a soundbar. You're looking for something purely functional, and at the end of the day, TV is better than not TV. If it's a thing that you can play games on, you can have fun with it. It may not be an OLED TV, but it's not like we're choosing between this or an OLED. We're choosing between this and not having a TV. But at this price point, if used is at all an option for you, that is the way to go. The furniture, on the other hand, is a great example of how a cheap thing can be terrible value for money. You get so little for what you pay for. I don't know why anybody would buy furniture off of Amazon. You're way better off just wandering the streets in your local city, looking for stuff people left out on their sidewalk. Because if you go onto Amazon to buy stuff, that's what you're getting. Is that what you want? That's not good. It really isn't. Which brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And until the next video, bye-bye.